Bum, 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 bum.
It's Liberty Librarian time. I'll hit all of my banners while I'm at it. There we go.
All
And we're
right.
done with Liberty NaNoWriMo because it is now December. And we can go to the regular. Thank God. Oh, thank God. Jeebus. Bejeebus. We made it. Holy shit, Allison. We did it.
I did. I made it, and I'm so happy and so done and so fried.
I tell you, it was the most fried I've been at a NaNoWriMo, but then I got so much more done at the very, very end that I couldn't believe it. And I'm really glad. NaNoWriMo, for those who may have never watched the show before, is National Novel Writing Month, where you write like a crazy person for the whole month of November to get 50,000 words down. So you get basically the length of a novel. And we both we did some weird stuff this year.
Yeah.
Like
As
I definitely did weird stuff. I did nonfiction, which is not normal.
I did nonfiction 2 years ago. I did the Reenactors Cookbook, which of course was published and is selling very well.
Yes, I love that book. It's so cool, and I think and your stuff is really neat. You're inspiring to me because I see how hard you've worked and how neat it turned out. That I hope everyone checks out Allison's work. It's amazing.
It's good. The cookbook is a lot of fun if you happen to be a nerd that is like a food nerd. If you're a foodie, and it can be any kind of foodie, or if you're into Renaissance or medieval culture or history or any of those things, or you like to cook whole foods that have no weird additives, because in medieval times they didn't have that, so all of the food is kind of very naturally natural.
Well, and some of the people who watch Freedom Revolution Network talk about prepping a little bit too and getting ready in case society totally falls apart. So I think that's a perfect cookbook to have in case things do go sideways. You can do everything from scratch and do it all over a fire or whatever you have.
So some of the cool things that I have in here, just because, I got to toot my own horn because ain't nobody doing it for me. So just as a as a record, it's really hard to do for anybody who's listening who has written a book and is trying to figure out what to do. No one else. Even traditional publishers today they're not going to toot your horn unless you're J.K. Rowling. Ain't happening. You got to do it yourself. So
she's got a team of freaking people who do
right
things day and night for her. So,
but you don't get that when you first start, and it's hard because I feel guilty every time I do it, but I'm doing it anyway.
No, you should.
So I talk about prepping food for over a fire. I talk about how to cook over a fire and how to start a fire, how to make fire starters. And I talk about things. One of the things that's in here is that ash will get in your food.
Yeah.
A lot of people freak out over that, and I don't know why.
It's so clean. I've always had somebody in my head saying it's the cleanest stuff on earth, ash.
Well, it's already been burned and purified.
What else could you ask for? There's nothing to it.
And if you cook over a fire, you will get ash in your food, but it lends flavor to it. It's one of the reasons why steak on the barbecue tastes so good, is because you get the smoke and the ash in there, and it just tastes really good. But learning how to do regular cooking over a fire is not difficult. It might take you a couple of tries to get something just right, but you get used to it very quickly. The more difficult stuff is stuff like baking and roasting and making pies is challenging.
Which I think is challenging in an oven anyway, in modern technology. But so, yes, of course it will be harder than regular stuff, but you can get there, And you read Allison's book, you'll start to figure it out.
Exactly.
Oh, and ash is good for your organic garden too.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
You can take ash and you can run water through hardwood ash, not softwood ash, but hardwood ash, and make lye, which you can then make soap from.
Clean. Oh, and by the way, we're drinking tonight. We are having. I'm having a beer, and Allison has having a delightful sounding wine. We are celebrating because we're freaking done with our books. Yeah. Well, at least
Well,
the drafts, right? Oh my god.
I'm done with the draft, but I don't have to touch it for a couple of months now because I have a co-author.
Oh
I've
yeah.
done my
You
he's got
have
to
to
go
let
over
him
it.
do it.
So what he got was I took all of my book, I downloaded it from Readsy, which is the program I write on,
Oh
and I
yeah.
moved it over to Google Docs, which is much better for collaboration because you can do
Yeah.
notes down the side and stuff. And I went through and put in notes about things we'd discussed and said, "Okay, have at. There you go. Look at it after December 3rd."
So do you like Readsy a lot? I've heard a couple people mention that they really enjoy that.
I really like it because it's flexible and unlike some of the other well, it's free. You
Yeah.
you can buy stuff on it, but the base program itself is free. And you can set it to day or night, so your screen can be white or it can be black. I like my black screen a lot. I don't
Yeah.
like it when it's all bright.
Too
And
bright.
yeah, and I find it's good because you can work in chapters, and unlike Google Docs, you can flip back and forth very quickly between chapters and move things, and you can like highlight a section and say, make this a new chapter. You click a button and it just automatically populates it over.
Oh, cool.
So it has some pretty good tools. And then when I was transferring it over to my Google Docs folder, I accidentally deleted an entire chapter.
Oh no.
um, which I went into complete panic. But they have a content recovery system, and so you can go to a previous version of the book, and I was able to pluck it out, no problems. Took me 2 seconds.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, after I restarted my heart.
Black screen is easier on eyes in general, I think, too. And BJ also said that they were opening their homemade wine, and I know your wine sounded fabulous tonight, Allison.
I'm drinking Bully Hill wine. Bully Hill is a winery in the Finger Lakes region of New York, and they are very funky and weird, and they have these really crazy different wines. And this one is just, it's called Get My Goat Red. It's
Oh yeah.
it's a very dark red.
Ooh, like my soul.
It has decent legs if you're into
Mm.
that kind of thing. Um, and it has a strong flavor, but it's got overtones of like fruit. There's kind of like a blackberry and then the grape and then kind of almost a smoky, I don't know. But it's not like it
Oh.
doesn't kick your tonsils when you're drinking it.
It's like bam, bam, bam. Oh
It's
yeah.
not the And it's not the cheapest wine out there, but it's also not the most expensive. I think this bottle cost me $11, so I mean it wasn't like horrendous or anything.
Well, no, I don't believe in expensive wine. I feel like it's meant to be drank, and you can find everything at just about any price point less than $20 that are similar to the expensive wines. You don't need to be a snob about it.
Okay,
I've
so
never believed that.
I do snob out sometimes. I have a fondness for a couple of things. I have a
Really?
fondness for really there's a couple of moderately expensive $25-$30 wines that my boyfriend introduced me to. And then there's
Ooh,
Amontillado.
yeah.
And Amontillado, no matter where you get it, is expensive. the,
Oh yeah.
the cheap ones
Montiatos are
started about
expensive.
$30. And it's like
Yeah.
drinking Ribena. It's like drinking Ribena syrup. It's so sweet, but it's
I,
so good.
I know there's just some that you're like, oh, it's worth it. But for everyday drinking, I think like a $20 bottle or less is usually fine.
Hey, I picked up Barefoot Rosé for Thanksgiving. Cost me
Yeah,
$4.94.
yeah. And that's the thing is like if you're drinking with a lot of people too, you don't really want to be breaking out your $60 bottles of wine,
No.
for a 30. If people are just kind of like, I'm just going to drink whatever, I think the $6 bottle is totally fine.
So
Or what is it, the $5 chuck or whatever it used to be.
I'll give you a fun wine story. So,
Yeah.
at the beginning of the pandemic, before, when things got kind of really serious and scary there at the beginning in the first like month and a half, 2 months, we had dessert wine for special occasions. Absolutely.
Mm.
Ice wine.
Ooh, I love ice
So
wine.
good. Oh my
I
gosh,
have
so
one.
expensive, but so good.
I have one I've been
Anyway,
saving. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
oh,
Yes.
I love it. Um, so when
Mm.
we a couple of years ago, well, gosh, I guess it's more like 6 years ago now, a friend of ours had to leave her husband because he was doing very bad things, and
Oh,
he's in a special prison now, and we celebrate that every day.
yes, good
Um,
for him.
he'll be there for life and maybe longer, and we're okay with that.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, when we moved her out of the house, she said, "I don't have any money to give you," and I said, "I don't care." I showed up at her house and said, "Load your shit in the car. We're leaving. I don't give a shit.
Time to
He can go to
go.
hell." I don't care.
Yep, I'm
And
saving you.
so what she did was we came back after he was arrested, and we cleaned out the wine cellar that they had because they were in the process of starting a bed and breakfast, and so they had belonged to this wine thing where they got sent 5 or 6 bottles of wine every month, and they'd been in it for 2 years. So I inherited about $5,000-6,000 worth of wine, and I just don't drink wine all that often unless I'm with people.
Yeah,
I don't
I
drink by
usually
myself.
I,
So
I
when the
I s- I Zoom drank a lot last year, but other than that, I just don't drink at home by myself a lot, you know.
Yeah, nobody in my house drinks. Once in a while, like Christmas, New Year's, birthdays occasionally, once in a long while at dinner. But anyway, my boyfriend likes wine, and we have a glass of wine on the weekends when we're together, which is great.
Yay.
Well, the pandemic hit, and the first thing they closed was the liquor stores.
So
And
you
I'm
know
like,
booze is
like,
important.
seriously, you're gonna keep me stuck at home for 2 months and you're not gonna give me wine? Like, what the heck?
They should have mandatory sent out everybody a bottle of wine, like a case of wine or a case of beer, whatever your preference is. They should have done that if we're going to keep us at home.
Seriously. So I said, well, you know what? We got all this wine in the basement. Now it turns out that about a third of it has turned. So it's no good. It is not too early to drink. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Drink.
Exactly. But
But we
that closing
started,
the liquor stores is stupid,
it
man.
was. So we started pulling out these random bottles of wine, and they'd been in my basement in the not hooked up wine fridges. So the labels had all molded over. And
Oh, you're like, what is this?
so they're mystery wines. You could see if they were dark wines or light wines, and that was kind of your only guess. We had no idea if it was
Could
a
be.
Cabernet or a Pinot. So we just started pulling them out. I would take 3 bottles over to his house because there was guaranteed that one wasn't going to be good, and sometimes it was
Oh.
two, but there was always at least one out of 3 was okay. And so we've actually gone through about half the wine in the basement over the past few years because we didn't have to go buy. And some of those were really expensive, and I wish I knew what they were because I'd go and buy them again.
You're like, it could have been expensive. Who knows? It might have been cheap. I wish I could
It
have
was
it again.
it was tasty.
Oh my God. Well, you know, I think writers are often tied to drinking in some ways. I don't know that we always are, but I feel like having a good glass of wine or a beer is definitely something that we like have every now and then.
With me, it's coffee.
Oh,
Coffee and writing
coffee.
go hand in hand. I
Yeah.
cannot survive without my coffee, so that's my go-to.
I feel like the
I
caffeine during the writing and then the celebratory finishing with
after
wine
yes.
after.
Now show me your beer because
Oh,
I
I'm having a light beer tonight. This is
it's clear.
it's no, it's not. It's just like the lighting is weird, but yeah, I'm having
Okay.
it's like yeah, it's practically because it's a like a Coors Light. So yeah, it's
Okay.
practically water, but I'm on a diet. Blech. But I'm saving my husband and I like to go to breweries, so I'm saving my calories for the really the good stuff with him. So later tonight we're gonna have some beers out together. So
Ooh, nice.
I'm starting slow, low and slow, and then ending on a tastier note, hopefully. But coffee beer, have you had that? Oh, you're not a beer lady, are you? No.
I drink beer once
No.
in a while. Once in
I
a
like
while, I usually share them with Guy.
I've been going through coffee beer things and peanut butter porters. I like
I've
those a
had peanut
lot.
butter porters. My friend Justin, who's doing the van life thing, um, right before he left, he picked up a peanut butter porter for us to share, and it was very intense. It was very thick, and I normally don't like that, but because the peanut butter saved it.
Yeah, if it smells really like a lot like peanut butter, it's almost like drinking a dessert. I like that.
I
And
have this thing that if I want oatmeal, I will
oh,
make it with lots of sugar and raisins in a bowl. I'm not interested in drinking it.
that's okay. I have a friend who has this beer that he likes now. It's like an oatmeal raisin cookie, which is the only reason I
Ooh.
say it is you just said that. It actually is really good, but I can only drink one of them because it's like
Oh,
so sweet and it's like yummy. But after like one, I'm like, ugh, done with it. Although I
there's a
kind of rather have the cookie though, but still.
and that's the thing. I'm very food motivated, so
I am too. I had to and I saw schnapps and hot chocolate. Oh, that sounds
that's a
amazing.
nice. I
Oh my
can't
god.
I have to only do really expensive hot chocolate because it has to be 100% dairy free,
Oh
and that's not
yeah.
easy to find. The only brand I've found that has it is Starbucks. It's
Oh.
made with pure co cocoa, and it just has sugar and other stuff in it to make it sweet.
Suppose I suppose you'd have to make it at home then, because you could do it like with I don't know, coconut milk or something and
I could do it with coconut milk, but I actually do it with oat milk because oat
oh
milk
no.
tastes pretty good. It's very similar to regular milk,
I
and I
think
never
so
liked I
too.
don't drink milk anyway, so
At my house, we do almond milk or coconut cream in most of the stuff. I like that a lot. Yeah, coconut cream, yes, delicious, and it's thick. I like that. But I mean,
yes.
you'd have to definitely. I can't think of any regular chains that would do non-dairy for that. I mean, for the actual powder.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is like if they would just make their own cocoa powder kind of mix and not
Yep.
have dairy in it, it would be so much better.
If they use Hershey's, I can do it if they'll do it with an alternative, like a nut milk. Um, because
Oh,
The Hershey's cocoa powder is just cocoa. There's
hmm.
nothing else in it. Um,
And a lot of times at home, that's what I'll make it with, is because I don't usually buy those powders. I'll make it all like by scratch for that.
nice.
It's so much better. But when if you get those powder mixes, they have so much other weird crap in them that you didn't
Yeah.
even think that would be there. So yeah, I totally could see a lot of food allergy people or vegans not wanting to have that. Yeah, it's in everything. So I
So as
mean,
you mentioned veganism, and I had to laugh because my boyfriend is vegan,
oh, yeah. Oh,
and of course
but you're
I
not.
am very not. There's this family joke which drives my teenagers nuts as I look them straight in the eye and I go, "I eat vegan on the weekends." But a bump.
That's all that you need to do.
Oh my gosh. It's the best joke. I did it when her friends were over and they were like, "Oh, that's so nice that you do that on the weekends for Guy." And Alex is going, "Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe."
I love
It's
it.
always great when you can get your kids back. Anyway, so I have learned how to make a lot of different meals that are vegan in nature, which is very different from my medieval cookbook because of course that's like all meat all the time.
Oh yeah, and I also use stevia a
Mm,
lot to sweeten and monk fruit lately. I mean, I like that just because it's like kind of lower calorie and you can like make it taste really sweet and not too gross. Like some of these artificial sweeteners are nasty anyway. You shouldn't be using them, but there's a lot of options.
I have a cool mix. It's stevia and raw cane sugar
Oh yeah,
mix. So the raw cane sugar, they have just enough in there to bulk up the stevia and take
yeah.
away the bitter flavor.
Because
So
stevia's got a little aftertaste
it
that
yeah,
just a hint of
and
it.
with the cane sugar in there, you can't taste the stevia, the after flavor at all.
I like the raw cane sugar. It has this kind of caramely kind of
It's yeah,
undertaste to it, and I like
yep.
that a lot. I almost like that better than regular sugar for most things.
I had to laugh because I'm originally from Canada, so I have a lot of Briticisms that I use. And when
Yeah.
I moved down to the States, I was going to do something at Christmas the first year, and I was like, I need to get Demerara sugar. And they're like, everybody's just looking at me
They
blankly.
don't know what that is.
What the hell is Demerara sugar? And I'm like, you get it in a bag, and it's brown, and it's like big cubes. It's a type of sugar.
That's what the British people call it.
And it's just raw cane sugar. That's what Demerara sugar is. But I didn't know that. Like, I mean, I was looking all over for it. I couldn't find it.
I love watching like the Great British Baking Show for that very reason, because sometimes I'm like, what is that? What is it? What are they using? And then I have to look it up and go, oh, that's what that is. They call things different all the time over there. So,
we have a British store near here that I go to with my boyfriend, and they had Iron Brew when I was there last time. Oh my God, it was so good. I could feel the chemicals coursing through my body.
You're like, it's wonderful.
It is so good. I'm not a huge fan of
the Great
sodas. Like, I don't do sodas a lot.
I do, unfortunately. I need to not. It would be a smart thing to not do it. So yes, what do you suggest?
So there are these things that I've got that are seltzer waters that have natural flavorings and stevia sweetening. So we're calling them not sodas.
Yes.
So you get the soda feeling, but they're not sodas, and they don't have as much crappy stuff in them.
What are they called? What brand?
And they have caffeine.
Oh, I love caffeine.
They have so much caffeine. It's fantastic.
What is it called? Because I might need to look for this.
God, I don't even know.
Oh, well, if you find out, let me know later, because
I have some in the fridge downstairs, but I don't want to go get them right now.
Oh, no, that's all right. And my husband just walked in the door. Hi, Andy. We're on the show.
Hi, Andy.
We're doing the show right now. He's like,
it's hi, Heather's husband.
Hello. So yes, there is a lot of caffeine in coursing through my veins during the last month. I usually drink like Diet Coke and Coke Zero, so I really need to get back away from that. Every once in a while, I'll go through a phase where I stop drinking soda, and it's really good for me, and I'm so healthy. And then all of a sudden, I just fall off the wagon, and I start drinking it again, and then it's like a rager of caffeine and craziness. So I know I need to stop it, because I'm so much healthier when I don't. But
I think I do like 2 sodas a month.
Oh my God. That's like my day.
But I drink 2 16-ounce cups of coffee every day.
Okay, that evens out a little bit. You're probably having about the same.
Yeah.
Do you have any trouble sleeping with it? Like, not
I could drink.
You're not having the sex time with the coffee. I mean, like, going to sleep at night because you drink too much or whatever. I don't.
I could go downstairs, brew a pot, drink the whole thing, and then go to bed.
I am the same way, exactly.
The only way caffeine seems to affect me is if I don't have it in the morning, I'm grumpy.
Yes. I need to have something in the morning. I have it's like a green smoothie that I do every day. It's I have it's like chocolate flavored, and I put instant coffee in it, and it wakes me the hell up, and it also is kind of healthy. It's brought my cholesterol down. So I do that every day, and I don't mind it because it tastes like a chocolate milkshake to me. So I do that. Oh God, to have it make you sleepy? Wow. Like, for me, I'm
gonna guess. I bet you have ADHD of some form or on the spectrum, because caffeine actually affects people with ADHD and certain spectrum disorders, opposite to the rest of us who are norms. Which, just so that you understand, in my household, the vast majority of people are not norms. I'm vaguely norm, but slightly on the spectrum, and I'm looked down upon. Norms are boring. It's the
Yeah.
autistic people who rule my
I like
households.
what I think they call it neurodiverse, right? So yes, I
Yeah.
agree with you. I think it's really interesting to see how people have different reactions to the same thing. It's kind
Yeah.
of amazing. But I think that would be kind of weird though. Like if you accidentally get caffeine and you're just like you're passing out. That'd be like a different experience.
I would die. In fact, one of one of my one
Why?
of my characters in my first book in Bloodstone,
Yeah.
my main character, she gets turned into a vampire and she wakes up and then she goes to go and get coffee and she can't drink it because it makes her
Oh,
sick.
yeah.
And
She
then
gets thrown up.
she's like,
Mhm.
it's not fair. Okay.
Nothing normal about
Serious.
either of us either.
Yeah, no.
It's all right. You're in the right place then.
Normal is a setting on the dryer, just saying.
Yeah, and it doesn't usually work for anything. So I'm just saying normal is like it's an attitude that people think is what you need to do to fit in, and it's BS, honestly. Oh, I gotta tell you, I'm just like I'm all over the place today.
Yeah.
I'm getting a new washing machine tomorrow, and
Yay.
it's I know. Well, it's kind of yay, but it's also because the other one like died a
I
painful death.
saw.
I feel like it was it stood by me all the way through NaNoWriMo, and then it died with me right at the end. Like we crossed the finish line, and that puppy was like and done. So so my celebration is drinking and getting a new washing machine tomorrow. But it's good. It'll be a brand new nice one, so it'll maybe wash my clothes better. That'll be awesome. I like Tim's asked me though. Okay, I'm all over ADHD. I am ADHD, but caffeine still works for me. Define normal. I don't think normal is no fun at all, and that I
There's
think
your definition.
that is normal is no fun. Like, do you really want to be normal? Nah, I don't know any really what is yeah, who's normal? Like what does it mean like you're basic? Like you want like pumpkin spice lattes and because I don't mind that. I
Ooh,
mean maybe that
no!
makes me normal.
I'm sorry, we can't be friends now.
I'm sorry, like bitch, no, you done. Like no, but I'm not like much of a coffee drinker, Allison. So I'm not going out. If somebody handed me one though and said, "I love you, here you go," I'm like, not my first choice. I'll drink it anyway because I'm super not picky about most things. I mean, like you get your $3 wine. I'd be like, I don't care as long as it doesn't taste like antifreeze. I think it's probably fine. But being normal is overrated. That's all.
Yeah, normal is boring. It's when everything is just the same all the time, and it's just not. It just denote. What is this thing? It denotes a lack of. Um. I can't remember the quote from
Oh
Practical
God,
Magic.
yes. I'm gonna have to look it up now. You broke
Yeah.
my
Okay, you
brain.
look it up. I'll let you do it.
Okay. Oh God, it's on like a picture. Um, do, 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 do. My darling girl, when are you going to realize that being normal is not necessarily a virtue? It denotes a lack of courage. Is that
There
right?
we go.
So, yes, and I feel like normal is to make other people think things of you, think you're better than you are because you're fitting in. You're like gonna be
Yeah.
the peg that fits in with everyone else, and honestly, then it makes you fit in less. The weirder you are, the more you fit in, actually, because we're all freaking weirdos here.
It's
The
true.
ones the ones that matter
I
anyway.
don't hang around with normal people, and maybe
Mm.
that's because they don't want to be around me. I don't know.
No, well, they're probably not that fun anyway. I'm serious. Like I mean, I can't figure out why somebody wouldn't want to hang out with you. You know everything about everything. You're fun. You're
I do
interesting.
not, but I do
You
seem to have a fairly
do.
broad knowledge base,
Yes, and
but
that's
I'm
I like
definitely not
people.
normal.
Yeah, I want people around me that can talk about different stuff. it's the people that are like, oh, do you have kids? Where do you work? And I'm like, oh, I know this conversation is going nowhere, because they don't go, oh, are you interested in food? Like, do you travel? What, like, do you watch movies? You write books? Like, what?
Do you dress
like,
up like a medieval character on the weekends? I do.
I have been known to do that.
I had to laugh.
I do that.
My sister is a teacher at the public school.
Oh, yeah.
And so she came to me and she goes, so Allie, I'm doing a play for the kids. All the teachers are doing the play. And I have to be a princess for this play. And I'm like, I got you, sis. I came barreling upstairs. I came down with a full-on princess dress, a diamond tiara, long gloves. She's like, this
Holy
is
shit,
perfect.
man.
She's like, you just have this lying
That
around.
is
I'm like,
the way to be.
it's true. I have more
You
stuff
never
in
know
my
when somebody's got to be a princess.
Exactly. How often, I mean, like, you gotta have stuff like that in your closet. You never know when you're gonna have
No
to get
doubt.
dressed up like that. So this
I
weekend,
have
I'm
so
getting
many
dressed
things.
up in my medieval garb.
Oh, fun. Where are you going?
So I'm looking at my thing. It is the American Legion Craft Fair for the Legion that's just up the road from us.
Cool.
John
Cool.
Humiston Post 11.
Post 11. That sounds like very serious.
Post number 11, and it's from 9 to 2 in case anybody out there is actually in my area. But I'm not just me going this time. My boyfriend is coming and he plays harp. And so he's dressing up in his medieval harper's garb.
He plays
So
the
he'll
harp.
be,
I
he
have a good
does.
friend who plays harp who lives in my town. That's crazy. We should get like a harp band going.
Yeah. See, now I got to show you a picture. I got to find a picture of him.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Do you have a picture of him with his harp?
Plenty.
Okay. I was just
so many.
Because my imagination is dead after NaNoWriMo. So I need to like have people show me things. Because I'm like, are they? I'm imagining a harp, but it's like a stick figure. Oh yeah.
Okay.
And is this your co-author?
No.
Oh no.
So,
this is different person. Sorry.
Yes.
I was like, let's
share
see.
Screen.
I'm gonna pop it up there once we get it up there.
I want to share window. That
you
share.
got it. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna add it.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah, that's so cool.
So this is his hot weather gear.
Oh yeah.
And then let me hold on. Stop screen.
Well, yeah.
There's pictures in there that are
it's like
private ones.
oh yeah. No. It's always good to like minimize it when you're looking. That way you're not like, here's a picture of my butt, and then here's my boyfriend, and here's my dog.
Here we go. Share screen window. Okay. So this is at the local Ren Fair that runs for several weekends in the fall called King Richard's Fair. And so this was him this not last year, year before. And whenever he plays, he gets these little kids who follow him around and look at him like this.
He's like, oh, he looks like he's magical. So I think these kids are just hypnotized.
They stand there stunned as long as he's playing.
Yeah.
So these are friends of ours.
I always think like the Pied Piper should have been a harpist, because that would make more sense. The kids have been like, whoa, cool.
I know.
That's so amazing. It looks beautiful. I bet you he plays really well too.
He does. He is a very good player. And he also plays trombone and euphonium.
That's like a wide variety of musical instruments right there.
So trombone and euphonium are fairly similar, I guess, in some ways.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I don't think I know anybody who plays euphonium. It's like I can't even hardly say it.
I have a thing for jazz, and he belongs to a group of older gentlemen who are a jazz band, and they play occasionally out with, mostly they just practice together. And I love when he's practicing. Every once in a while he'll let me come out and listen, and I just like sit on the couch, or and I could hear him, and it's amazing because he does that. He's so good.
Got something. I'm a guitar person, honestly. Everyone has like their music where you're just like, oh yeah. Oh, you're gonna play for us now?
No. I am definitely out of practice, but
we haven't drank enough yet for you to be playing, right?
I will sing before I will play.
Oh, well, I've had actually on my show like a year or two ago, before the pandemic, my friend Amy, she came and played on the show, and we had her play her harp. And so I'm like, you wouldn't be the first musician on the show. I think that's a lot of fun.
A lot of the time we will sit and play. Like he was in the Army band. He was part of the United States Army band for many years. So he's very, very good. And
that's
so
awesome. They are amazing.
Oh, they are. And he can read music like nobody. He reads music like most people read words. So if I take I have a proper wooden recorder that's similar to what they would have had in medieval times. And the fingering is the same. It's just a lot deeper. And so I will play that, and he'll play. So we'll play like Edelweiss. What?
Oh, I'm sorry. My brain just went bad. I was like, that sounded dirty, Allison.
I play low, he plays high.
Oh yeah. Ooh, baby. Sorry.
It's okay.
You put even a tiny amount of beer in me, it goes downhill fast. Oh yeah. I bet you didn't think you're getting this tonight for Liberty Librarian, did you? And not just
racy
you, I meant
stuff.
People also were watching. They're like, what the hell? Racy stuff. I want literary shit. Damn
okay,
it.
So literary shit. So I'm working on this new cookbook. I'm starting again on Monday. I gave myself the rest of this week off because I'm fried.
Yes.
But so I've got the outline of the book, and I'm all excited about it. And I've got appearances coming up where I'm selling my cookbook. And I found out that I can sell bread here. Here in New Hampshire, you can sell, as long as you sell less than $20,000 worth of it in a year, you can do it under something called the Homesteading Act.
Hell yeah.
And since I'm only going to be doing it occasionally, and it's, it's a recipe from my cookbook, so it's kind of an additional thing. I wish I had known about it in time. I would have baked enough to take for this weekend, but I didn't. So next weekend, I'm going to be baking like every day, making dozens of loaves so that I can take them in Wednesday and sell them.
You're going to be so freaking busy. Holy crap.
I know. But you know what? It's cool. It's cool. It's really nice when you've been the one who doesn't make any money for a very long time because you've been the one who's done the homemaker thing. And your hubby sits down at the table and tells everybody in the family, I just want you to know that the reason we are having Christmas this year is because Allie sold books.
Oh.
If she hadn't sold books, I was going to have to say it was going to have to be a bare bones, like we can afford food and maybe some, like a couple of books. Oh. So my books are what's paying for Christmas. I was like, oh my God. He blew me away when he said it. It was so...
I'm so happy.
Me too. But I want to work on this van life cookbook because I have 2 possible publishers to query with it.
And dude, you're gonna sell that like hotcakes. You gotta be like getting that done.
I want to because I think it will sell really well, and I have this time of year. There's a whole bunch of the van life people are down in Arizona at this place called Quartzite, and they're all getting together. So I have a friend. Are you near there? Aren't you?
Which one is it? The What was it again?
Quartzite, Arizona.
No, I don't go down to Arizona.
Okay.
No, but I know people who are down there, and that would be amazing. I have a friend Debbie who lives down there, and she actually lives in her, or she has lived in her RV, so she's kind of like a van life person. So yeah, she's down there.
Yeah, and it's
That'd be
well, I've been
amazing.
getting pictures from Justin. He arrived a couple of days ago and it's gorgeous and it's so spread out. People are not on top of each other. You don't have to camp near anybody, you know.
I like
And there's
that.
nothing that will burn, you know, so you don't have to worry about wildfires or anything. They can because they're kind of in desert.
Yeah, because
So they can
you
have
worry about
fires.
that with like people like doing stupid stuff out in California. You don't want to be doing that, and
Yeah, exactly. So
so
I
yeah,
have,
that's
I
great.
think, 12 or 13 people who are going to be testing recipes for me, and most of them
Awesome.
are at Quartzite for the next month and a half.
Oh,
So
dang,
they got
yeah.
all excited, and apparently a bunch of them actually got together, the van life people, and had a full. There were enough of them that they went out and got an actual turkey, and they
Oh,
cooked it
cool.
over the fire and did my not medieval, but my Thanksgiving feast that I posted up.
Yes, that was
Uh,
amazing. So it turned out really good, right?
Apparently, yeah.
That is so cool. I just love that. I love seeing like some of these ideas that we've talked about, like they actually come to fruition and people get excited about it, you know?
Watching people come together. One of the things that I got was a couple the day after Thanksgiving, which was like what, a week ago, something like that. Um,
I know it seems like those ages, but
I
I yes, it was a week ago.
my brain is just trashed. But anyway, the day after Thanksgiving, I get an email
That's
from
what
somebody
I
who
know.
had downloaded my Thanksgiving guide, and she paged me and she said, "So my grandma, not unexpectedly, passed away just a couple of weeks before Thanksgiving." And she's like, we weren't expecting her to pass away before Thanksgiving, but it wasn't. So like nobody's freaking out, right? She
Yeah.
was very elderly, but she was the one who always cooked the turkey. And so, you know,
Um,
my sister and my mom showed up at my house with this frozen turkey and said, you have the biggest house. You're doing Thanksgiving dinner now that Grammy's gone." And she's like, "I had no idea. I've never cooked a turkey before in my life. I don't do big dinners. I don't know how to do all this." And she said, "And that's the day I saw your guide and I downloaded it. And I just wanted to let you know that um, even though I'm not a big turkey fan, it turned out perfect, and my Grammy would have been proud. We could all tell she was smiling down at us from wherever she was because we made honor to her at that Thanksgiving meal." And I was like, "Oh my gosh."
doesn't that feel the best? I love that. Oh my
It
god.
was, and I was having such a shitty day. And so having somebody do that, it really just, it uplifted me. And I was like, "Oh my gosh."
I love that so much. What a good story. I mean, that's what it's all about. Is helping people, connecting everyone to ideas and to good things and to turkey and wine and beer and everything. Hell to the yes.
Somewhere
So,
I have a guide for which wines go with which Girl Scout cookies.
oh, I think I've seen that. We talked about that. I know we did because I was like, I tried a couple and I'm like, this is totally right.
I know it works.
I need more Girl Scout cookies and more wine, obviously. I love that. Hey, okay, so you're gonna take some time off from writing. I know I'm gonna like take some time off to finish my classes. I'm taking like my program stuff. It's like another 2 weeks pretty much, and then I'm done with it. But then I'm editing. I have actually some friends that are willing to help me edit.
Yay.
But what do you do next after you get your book ready to go? What do you recommend since you're already published? I've done like short stories in an anthology, but I didn't have to post it or anything or put it in the book. You know, it magically appeared there and someone else
Right.
edited it.
So here's the deal. If you are self publishing, it is still worth the money to pay somebody to edit your work. And I say that as
Absolutely.
somebody who has not yet paid anybody to edit my work, but boy, I would if I could, kind of thing. And I actually will,
Yeah.
the next fictional book that comes out, when I publish the sci fi novel, I will be paying somebody to edit it. It's not horrendously expensive. It's probably going to be about $200-300, and it's worth it. And it's not that I don't have good grammar. I do. I work as an editor for people.
Yeah, you're awesome. I mean, the stuff I've read from you already looks amazing. So obviously you know what you're doing.
But the
But I'm
problem,
sure you might see things that you missed.
yeah, I can't edit my own work. I don't see the
You can't.
problems. So
Oh,
what I did with my vampire novels, and I'll start there because those are the easiest for me, because I think more people will understand the fictional process. I sat down and I read them out loud to one of my kids.
that's a good
And
idea.
so I had printed it out because I can't read from my screen.
Yeah.
Um, and so I had the printout and I thumbed through it and I would read a page and hand it to her and read a page and hand it to her. And she would call out if she heard something that was the continuity was off, or like a description wasn't right, or she would, and I would flag that in. I would just highlight it with a highlighter, and then
Yeah.
after I was done reading it to her, which would take like a couple of weeks of at night, um, I would go back and go over all the things that I had noted. When I was done that, I went over everything and read it through once more myself, and then when I was done that, I took it and I fed it chapter by chapter through something called the Hemingway editor.
Oh, yes. I have this on my list, and Grammarly. Like, you do both of them and you can catch a lot of things like mistakes. So if you don't have a lot of money, Grammarly and Hemingway are like amazing.
The Hemingway app for me is wonderful because I overuse ly words and I
Yeah.
write overly complicated sentences. So they're grammatically correct, but they're too complex for the average reader. And with the Hemingway app, it'll tell you the grade level that you're writing for. And I'll be honest, when I'm writing my vampire fiction, it has a 4th grade reading level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly,
It's not
that's
the
normal.
topic, but the reading level, because I want it to be accessible to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And so I keep the level down. And that's average for fictional books in America right now.
Yes, that's
So
something I think people should look at is if you're writing in a genre, what is the reading level that you should be writing to? I mean, sometimes it's hard when you go from somebody who's writing like really like high level sci-fi for maybe a higher level audience, very science based, to down to, maybe like I don't know, horror, like you have like I don't know, Frankenstein falls in love with a vampire, something
yeah.
different.
I mean, my vampire stuff is I call them bathtub books. They're books that you're happy to sit and read in the bathtub. They're not literature. They're fun.
I have books like that I read at spring break every year. I take stuff that I'm just like, I just want to chill the hell out and not think
Exactly.
hard, have fun or something romantic or something,
Right.
but not, I don't really want to learn everything about the world today.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'll go through and I adjust my sentences and all that. And then I have somebody else read it through. I have a couple of friends who um, can't afford to purchase books because they're hard up. And so they get a free copy of my
Library.
book. Well, they get a
Yeah.
free copy of my book, and in return, they have to, give me reader feedback. And so they're
Feedback.
my
I think
beta
that's
readers.
good. So,
And
I
so
mean,
I,
like you just don't want to have people who are too nice about it, like
correct.
you
You
got
have
to
to
tell
find somebody
them.
who's willing to red pen you.
Yeah, because honestly, I could send stuff to my mom, but she's probably gonna be like, "This is the best ever," and I'm like, "No, I don't want that. I want you to tell me what's wrong with it, and that's
Exactly.
okay."
And I have a couple
That's
of
amazing.
friends. I have a couple of friends who are quite bloodthirsty, and the page will bleed
Yeah.
red if it needs to, and I'm cool with that. So that's kind of my final thing. I correct those, and then I go to production. Um, and I
So
for
how do
my
you do
fic.
that?
Well, so you have to get all the pieces together. So you
Yeah.
need a cover, which is the front, the back, and the spine.
Yes.
If you want to be really cheap, there's a cover maker on KDP, and I think Ingram Spark has one as well, but they look cheap. Okay, they really do.
And I think Canva has one too, but yeah, it's all the same kind of art, and you'll see the same thing over and over. So you definitely want to maybe spend a little bit of money to get someone. Like you can go on Fiverr, and you
can go
hire
on Fiverr.
There's a lot of other places that do it.
When I did the cookbook, I did my own, and I used a combination. I created the cover and the back using Canva, which I have a membership for because I do lots of stuff. Okay.
I like that.
And then I took that and I pasted it into the program that KDP has.
Good
and just
idea.
enlarged it so that it covered most of the thing. So that was my way.
Good. Yeah.
It did turn out rather well for a cheap ass. I did it myself. It's pretty darn good.
I like that.
And it's as a intermediate, if you have a good flair for creating book covers, but you can't afford to get somebody else to do it, you can do it yourself. And then there's what I did with my fiction books, and I paid $150 per cover to have my covers made. And I had a real artist do it, and she's really good. I told her what I wanted, and I can do that. You can do it with the lady in particular that I was working with. She's not accepting clients anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
She's going to do the third book in my series, but that's it.
Yeah.
But she, I said, you can either tell her, I was like, well, my character's doing this. She's standing in this place in Vancouver. She's doing, and she did from that.
You told us about that. Yeah, she's amazing sounding. Like
very
so good.
Or you can mock something up in like Canva or jot it on a piece of paper and take a picture and send it to her, and she'll do her best to work from that to make something that's actually professional. But she's a professional. She does this for big names as well as nobodies like me. And that was worth it. My books actually sold after I got the cover remade by somebody who wasn't me.
It's crazy how important things like that can be, and in marketing as well, like getting the word out. I mean, seriously, you go out and you talk to people. And I think a lot of artists and writers, they get scared to do that.
That's what I said at the beginning. You got to sell yourself.
Sell yourself. Punch it out. You got to tell people how awesome your shit is, or they're gonna not even take a look. And I'm gonna work hard on that. Once I get all my editing done, I'm gonna work hard on getting a cover, like you said, making sure it looks professional, and then make sure it's edited and get it out there. First of all, I think I'm going to independent do it, and put on Amazon and places, but KDP, you can do the print on demand, and that's
cool. It costs you nothing out of pocket.
Yeah.
Unless if you pay for,
but it's worth it. I mean, some people get scared because you have to set it up, but once it pretty much walks you through it. So
there's a guide that you can use. And I did the first Bloodstone I did myself.
Yeah.
And I did the entire inside of it all on my own. The second one, Blood Water, my boyfriend happens to do typesetting for his work.
How handy is that?
he typesets manuals, but I mean, he has all the professional software, and he has it at home because he works from home sometimes. So I just have him. We work it out in trade.
I think it. Yeah, wink.
Yeah. And it works out because he likes to play with it. He had a lot of fun. The cookbook in particular, he worked really hard.
Beautiful, actually. You showed like this the other day, and I'm just like, it looks fabulous.
I mean, I love that we found all these lovely photos.
Oh, yes. Are those copyright free?
They are not, but I have permission to use them.
Oh, that's awesome. There's different tricks to getting art. You have to be real careful about it, but still, if you can get something like that, those are amazing.
So all of the ones that I used, or most of the ones that I used, were put out by a lady named Cindy Renfrew, who gave me permission to use them in the book, so long as I gave her credit, which of course I did. I would anyway.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You can go on to Wikimedia Commons. Okay. Yes, and Wikimedia Commons has different kinds of licenses, and you find out the one that applies to you, and to your writing, and then you look for images that match what you're doing that have that license, and then you can use it in your book, and they'll tell you either you have to credit the image, which I have a couple from Getty Images, I think, that are in there,
Yeah.
or if you need to do it in the front of your book, or do a bibliography. They tell you exactly what they want, and then you can use those, and those are free. So like old pieces of art that have gone out of copyright,
Mhm.
those are woodcuts that I was showing you. So
Yes,
they're
and it's
not,
perfect for your book
well, yeah,
too.
they are actually from the 14th century. So
Yeah, it makes total sense. I was just like, "Wow, what a great idea."
trying to remember my favorite one. We had so much fun when we put it in. I gotta find it. Where is he?
This is the rabbit hole I will go down when I get to that point. I'm gonna be looking at art, a lot of art. Oh my god, that's so beautiful. Oh, I love he's drinking.
It's the
Oh,
Drunken Monk.
drunken monk. I love that. Oh, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to pick your brain when I get a little further along though about
Oh
art.
yeah.
'Cause that's the thing that I get really worried about copyright stuff. So you don't want to put things in there and then get sued or anything. So
So one of the things
be
that I did was, because there were a lot of pictures in this book and I wanted to make sure that I was up front on everything. Not only do I have credit on each and every picture, even though it takes up space in the book, I didn't care. I also have on my Google Drive all of the pictures, the letter of permission or the statement of permission, the copy of the license, the page that it came from, the date that I accessed it, and a screenshot. So that
yes,
I
and
can
hold on to
prove.
all of it in case they do. You have it
That's
all
right.
there.
I have everything I need to prove that I only used things that were free for use. And that's really important. It takes a long time, and it's irritating, and it's frustrating, and it's boring as shit. And I don't care. Go and do it because it is completely worth it. It will
It
save your
is.
butt later. Because if anybody ever asks me, I can easily pull that up and say, look, here it is. I've got it right here.
You are so smart to do that. I know a lot of people who forget and they think, "Oh, it's I just got off of Google." I'm like, "You can't do that. You're gonna
Google
make
mines everything. That's
they
all owned by people.
people might, and they think it's free. And sometimes sites say things are free, and you should double check because seriously, there is not that much that is free out there.
Exactly.
So be careful, please.
So once you've got all the book together and you send it into KDP and they put it through like a checker,
Yeah, for
and
plagiarism and that type of thing too, and
they
to make
do a
sure it's set up
plagiarism check,
right.
but it's all automated basically.
Yeah,
And if it gets flagged, then it goes to a person.
yeah, and then
I had
they'll talk
the
to you.
Yeah, I had the cookbook was flagged the first time I put it through because it's got so many things that say copyright in them.
Yeah.
um, and then I got an email from them saying, "Oh, it won't flag as copyrighted after this because we've told the program that it can ignore that."
That's
But
good.
you go through and then you can see a digital copy of your book on KDP, and I think it's the same on most of the other ones. And you can look through it that way. But then you order the galley copy,
Yeah.
and the galley copy looks just like this. So you'll see there's a stripe down the middle of the book.
Oh, yeah, so it's
It
like a
it says
not for sale, just to show you
not
what
for
it's gonna look like.
resale. Yep. And so you get it. Now, if you're doing it on your own, you'll note
Yeah,
in the inside of any book, you have this page that has all of the copyright info.
yeah,
Okay. And if you open any book, it has that. You will know when a book is a cheap book or a book that was self-published by somebody who didn't
know
care,
what they're doing. Yep.
that they don't bother to put that in because it's not automatic. KDP
Oh.
puts that in the back right
Oh,
there.
yeah. Little
That's all
barcode.
that's required because that has all that information in it. But if you want your book to go out and be when I take my book and I go to a library or a bookstore and I say, I want to sell you my book,
Yeah,
okay? They're like, are you self-published? Yes. They look at, as soon as they see that front page and they see the table of contents and how it's put together, it looks professional. It looks
well,
like
that's we use that for cataloging in libraries, and if it's not
right,
there, then they'll assume it's not, something that you can even catalog, really. It's
right.
ephemera, and a lot of libraries won't even touch it.
Exactly. And I've had bookstores tell me we don't normally take self-published authors, but we're taking this because this has a professional look and because it contains all of the things that a regular book does. So when you go to do the inside of your book, go and pick up another book in the same genre and look at how
I
it's
feel like
done.
I should
What
I wish I had a book right by me, but I mean, like there's things you can look at, and you want to be able to have. Do you have ISBNs on your book, or I mean, because some of them I know that people paid for them. I'm like, I don't know if
So
is it
you can
worth
do an
it.
ISBN in two ways. Most of the publish on demand places will give you a free one. Okay.
Okay.
But there are limitations on that. That free one is only good for my book published through Amazon.
Oh, so if you ever want to go anywhere else and take your book, you don't own that then.
I do own it, but I don't own the ISBN. So I have to
Oh,
unpublish my book from Amazon and republish it with whatever else I get. Or you can buy a pack of, I think they sell them in packs of 10 ISBNs, and that's
yeah.
yours. And you just pump it into it. There's a form that you fill in, and it'll tell you where to write it in, and it'll put it into the book for you.
Oh, that's a
Um,
good thing.
I don't bother buying my own because I'm not the only place that I'm selling that's not Amazon related is local, and it doesn't bother me that I have an Amazon ISBN. If you're in Britain, it makes a difference
Oh,
because they
okay.
have different selling rules. Other countries have different selling rules. So you
Oh,
just have to watch
I'm
how
gonna have
it's
to think
done.
about that because that seems like a whole nother level. The more I talk to you, the more I think of weird things, and I'm like, oh, do I have to worry about this? How about this? How about this? I mean, we
But
could talk
remember,
about this forever.
you don't have to worry about that because you're not publishing in Britain. You're
No.
an American publishing an American book. They can buy it, but it's labeled as an American book. It says
Oh,
that inside. So their rules don't apply to how that ISBN is done.
oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I'm gonna
So,
have
yeah.
to. I'm gonna look at all of this. I tell you, it's just good to know that I'm gonna have a lot of planning that's gonna come after I'm done with the book. So I'm glad.
Honestly, the bulk of it is this stuff. It's minutia, and you're sitting there and you're doing this for weeks and weeks on end, and all you want is to hit the publish button.
You want to just get it done. Ah,
But then you get that book, and I mean, I'm sorry, I've had done this 4 or 5 times now, where
yeah.
I've gotten, I publish something and I get a hard copy, and it never gets old. It never.
No, that's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that.
It's so exciting.
I am excited to just get done with it, and then I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to print. I have a print copy in my hand and go, I'm done with it. Look what I did, and I can't wait.
Exactly.
Thank you
And
so
I
much
love
for.
Amazon for that because if you want to make a family cookbook that's
Yeah,
not meant to be sold to everybody in the universe, you can order 40 copies and hand them out to your family as Christmas gifts and never touch it again.
yeah, and it's
There's
fine.
you don't have to leave it live on Amazon.
You could take it down if you wanted to.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
perfect. I mean, it's
So,
such a slick setup. I think if anyone wants to dip their toes into being published, it's a good way to go. And you don't have to pay money. I mean, people get so sucked into by like scams and stuff where they're like, "We'll publish it for you, and you have to pay us $5,000." You don't have to. Just write your book, and you can do it all yourself. There's a lot of YouTube videos that talk about how
mhm.
to do it.
It's a
And
lot of work learning how to do all this stuff
it
though.
is.
I mean, I hate marketing.
I do too. Oh, I am just enough of an introvert that I'm like, oh, do I have to go out and tell people about it? Yeah, but you gotta.
I
Mm,
like doing like the craft fairs and I love doing Ren fairs, but I'm teaching at Ren Fair, and the fact that I'm selling the book is kind of secondary. I mean, it's turned out to be a good secondary, but it's a secondary.
But that's
Um,
one way of marketing it. Honestly, like if
mhm.
this is what you enjoy, you lean hard onto that.
And
It's
the thing is, I'm paying for my hobby.
yeah. I
It
mean,
doesn't cost me anything to go to Ren fairs anymore.
well, yeah, and then yeah. Oh, I was gonna say you're paying for your hobby through your books, so that's perfect.
Exactly.
And teaching and having fun with it. I mean, everyone gets to be a part of the fun. Then I love it.
And I mean, I talk to kids a lot. I love talking with kids tweens and teens, because they'll be like, well, how much do you get paid to do this? I go, I don't get paid anything to do this.
No.
I get paid for my books when people buy my books, but that's it. When I'm just doing, out there cooking for 8.5 hours on the blazing hot sun in 4 layers of clothing, covered from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, and I'm sweating buckets. I'm doing that because I have a call to do it, and it makes me happy, not because I get paid. I get paid nothing to do it. In fact, I'm paying for the food that I'm cooking most of the time.
Well, and that's like why I mean, a lot of the things I do I do for fun. Like I do this show for fun. I do like write short stories for fun. I never thought I would ever make money on it. It would be super nice if I did, but
Yeah.
But if I don't, it's fine. So I feel like why not try then? Right? See if you can make some money doing it, and then if
there's
you
nothing
can,
to lose.
Nothing to lose. Just go for it. Have fun with it, and you meet some cool people on the way.
You do.
And that's the best part of it, I think.
I love doing it all of this stuff. I mean, I love my fictional books. I'm loving the cookbooks. I'm loving that I got attacked by a number of people who they're doing I don't know if you've seen it on Facebook. People are doing this recipe exchange.
Oh yeah.
So email me or send me a Christmas card, and I'll send you a Christmas card, and everybody puts a recipe in. And so you send them all around.
Recipes and try them, and you share it and go, this
right.
is how it turned out. Cool.
So I actually put together one that I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There, I can see it. Oh yeah, chicken, apple, and cheese pie. Right?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. I want it right now.
That is one of my semi-Renaissance. It's based on a Renaissance recipe, but I modernized it a bit. And it's tasty, and you can make it with vegan cheese.
Oh, perfect. Even better. So everyone can have it.
Exactly.
There's no excuse.
So, and you can use the vegan chicken.
Don't do it with the chicken or whatever.
Right. There's vegan chicken flakes and vegan ground beef things. I actually did a main dish for my vegan friends for Thanksgiving, and it was wild rice and sausage. And we used the Gardian Italian sausage crumbles, and they cook up just like
doing so much more. They taste so good now. I mean, they've come such a far way with making it delicious. I like that a lot.
I do too.
Oh, well, I see we're over time, and I haven't eaten dinner, and you look like you might be a little sleepy.
I'm like falling asleep over here.
So I thank you so much for going on this journey with me. This has been amazing, Allison.
It's been wonderful. I had so much fun.
I love getting to spend time with you and get to talk about all this fun stuff. And I hope we get together again soon. And when when I get like my books published, I might invite you back, and we can talk about how the next phase is going.
Excellent.
And I want to hear about all your book stuff and you finishing your van life, and we can have you back on the show again to talk about that too.
That works. Maybe if I play my cards right, I can get Justin to join us because he's the guy who started me on writing the van life cookbook, and he's living the van life, so he would give you an interesting perspective.
I would love that. That'll be awesome.
It's liberty at its best. He's not tied down to anything.
I love it. It fits it checks all my boxes. I love this. Oh, so have a great rest of the week. You guys too. And Allison, I love you. I hope everything goes well with your books, and it is always a joy to get to see you. Have a wonderful night, and we will talk very soon.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye, Heidi. Let's see if I hit the right one, huh? I have so many videos. There we go.